Hi, welcome back. I am so happy to be spending this time with you, honoring our feminine path with our Tea Time and Talk series, where we've been discussing honoring yourself, your path, and your sisters. I'm Natasha Bach, transformational coach and voice instructor. Through our time together, we have discussed the importance of rituals. We've talked about using our senses as portals to delight and your emotions as your compass to navigating your way through your day with ease and grace. We also had some beautiful enchanted tea. We built our sanctuaries, our inner sanctuaries. We discussed how our women's work is really to nurture and restore and replenish ourselves so that we can be a full to overflowing cup to give to others. And we did some movement sequences that are extremely healthy and a nice release for your body to be able to express itself and make sense of the information that it has to share without words, of course. And then we talked about how Mother Gaia is really a trusted teacher. So it's important for us to get in as much time in nature as we can during our busy week. And we need to schedule it. We need to make sure that we are getting outside and enjoying the delights of our time here on this earth. And in our last session, we talked about resonance and we used our own body's instrument to tune up our chakras. And also we used sound to help us come into resonance and balance with our body and our energy centers. So today, in our final section of this series, we're going to be talking about how we're honoring our own path and how we're honoring our sisters and their path. So as we discuss honoring our path, we have a lot of ways that we can honor ourselves. And the real question is, do we? Do we make time during the day to honor ourselves and thank ourselves for this incredible life experience that we're having? So one of the first ways that we talked about in this series, and hopefully you've been able to implement some into your daily and weekly routines, are rituals. Rituals to celebrate, rituals to make things extra special, right? So maybe you have developed a ritual around how you put the children to bed, or maybe you have a ritual around how you get ready in the morning. I know for me in the bathroom, I just pretend it's my spa, right? And that I have the most divine beauty products as I'm putting it on my face. And I'm just really trying to honor that I have created this luxurious experience for myself. And so rather than quickly slapping it on, like, how can I really just love and honor everything that I've created? In addition, maybe you're continuing to do our tea time enchanted cup of tea. Mine today is forgiveness tea. And it's a beautiful herbal blend, including rose petals and chamomile and some other herbs mixed in. Mostly, though, the biggest way that we can honor our path is really through being mindful and present, right? So if we are thinking about past regrets or rewinding that story and situation or phone call that we had that was super negative, we are spending time in our past. And if we are super anxious, worried, just racking our brains about what we're going to do for this thing that hasn't even happened yet, yes, there is something about planning, but we're leaning so heavily into that anxiety, and we're kind of feeding the anxiety and coming up with all the possible ways that it could go. and we get so wound up. But when we unplug from both of those storylines and we come back into the moment where we are, we take that deep breath and we just can recognize, wow, this moment right here, right now is beautiful. And when I'm driving, I'm fully present and driving. And when I am cooking for my family, I am so present in those moments because I want to make sure that I'm bringing love and caring to every single thing that I do. The other way that we can honor our path, and we talked about this previously, is a creative expression. This might be when you're journaling, when you're doing some art or sketching something out. Honoring your path could look like you honoring your sacred body temple, giving yourself some self-massage, right? Other ways to honor our path are creating healthy boundaries. If you've been feeling like people are taking advantage of you, maybe take a moment and just discover, how do I want people to treat me? And then speak up, use your voice, be honest from a place of love, and just set some healthy boundaries for yourself going forward so that you can keep yourself in integrity with your beliefs and your values. Also, spending time recharging is a way to honor your path. You can recharge by getting out in nature. You can recharge by listening to a meditation or doing some beautiful movement activities. And lastly, how you honor yourself and your own path is by asking for the support that you need. If you're feeling overwhelmed in a certain area, making sure that you use your voice to ask for the help. Maybe it's setting up a housekeeper to come on in once a week. Perhaps it is, if you're struggling on some technology things, is getting a consultant on your side to help you work through those. So many ways, but just think through how are the ways that you're honoring yourself. Because when we're truly claiming our worth and our value and our right to be treated with consideration and respect, it also involves the ways and thinking about ways that we didn't, and times we didn't do it for ourselves in the past, ways that we betrayed ourselves, or we didn't have our own back, or we weren't our own advocate. So as we move forward, we are looking for others to treat us with consideration and respect, but how about honoring our own path and respecting and giving consideration to ourselves? This means also giving yourself grace and forgiveness when you make a mistake. So right now I'm going to invite you to pause this video and to take some time to journal on your honorable traits, things that are your personal values. Are you kind? Are you resilient? Are you resourceful and generous? Then next, I'd like you to journal on, what do others honor you for? What do they honor you for? Is it because you're extremely patient? That you're extremely intelligent? Is it because you have great determination? What do other people honor you for? Then the third question is, how often in the day do you give yourself appreciation? And the fourth is, list 2 times in your life when you betrayed yourself. And then I want you to rewrite those stories with you making a different choice, a choice that would honor and empower you. And then when you're finished, then you can resume this video. All right, let's move on to honoring our sisters, observing and honoring rather than judging, belittling, or putting others down. As women, we have learned to behave in ways that are actually more typical of men. They display toughness and the desire to fit in, right? And these unhealthy tendencies are not part of our divine feminine qualities of light and love. And when we're in judgment, it's just an opportunity for us to look deeper at that part of ourselves and just see, what is that in me? What am I disliking about that person that is actually a reflection of me? And then after we take a deeper look at that, why we were judging, then we can recommit to uplifting our sisters. Because when we judge others on their decisions, whether they work or they don't work, what clothes she wears, how much she weighs, how she looks, how she wears her hair, her makeup, how she parents, what is her level of success, they're just garbage bins full of envy and competition. And it all just boils down to a low self-worth within us. Okay? We're judging both with our thoughts, we're judging with our words, we're judging with our actions. There was a time in my life when I was just really actively judging other women, right? Busy with what they weren't doing right, with my idea of what they needed to do better. Oh, the way she does business. Oh, the way she talks to her partner. I can't even believe that. The way she looked at me in the elevator is so rude. The way she handed me the coffee. The way she asks me to do my job. The way she wears that hideous makeup. Why does she have to be such a bitch all the time, right? I was constantly disappointed in women. And deep down inside, I was really disappointed in myself. I was just sitting on my throne of this feminine isolation, full of toxicity, pretending that I was so righteous and that I knew it all. But the realization that I came to, that being judgmental is very addictive, and being the judge of everyone was also really draining, and it didn't do anything for myself. I currently have an ongoing discussion with my daughter, and it's all about when is it okay and time to vent, and when is it just me, eliciting feelings of judgment and condemning others for what they're doing or what they're not doing, right? Really, it's all about that we are afraid. We're afraid that we're going to be discovered as some kind of a fraud behind a mask of perfection and doing everything right. I was there for perfection. I'm still battling perfection. I'm not perfect on my judgmental, times, and it's okay. Remember, it's just an opportunity for us to reflect and to make better choices in the future going forward. Because behind these masks of perfection and trying to do everything right is just a little girl who's scared, who wants attention, who wants love, and who really who feels like she needs to constantly judge other people just so that no one else will judge her. So I invite you again to pause the video and spend just a little time journaling. First time you remember feeling judged. What age were you? Who judged you? List the feelings that you experience when you believe you're being judged. What does that feel like when you believe people are talking about you or judging you? Next is, how do you believe others perceive you? And the fourth question, how would you like others to perceive you? So those two are done in words. And then the fifth one is to sketch or draw a picture of how you believe others perceive you. And then draw another little sketch of how you would like others to perceive you. And this is important, remember, because as we do things without words, like movement and drawing or art, it's a way for our inner voice to be heard. It's a way to honor that inner voice. So go ahead and pause the video. So let us remember, she is someone who is human. She is someone who is just like everybody else, who sometimes she feels awkward and anxious. Sometimes she wears that really tight dress that doesn't really feel comfortable because she thinks her ass or her breasts look really good in it. She's someone who has bad hair days, who makes mistakes, who cries at night, and who feels lonely, afraid, and uncertain at times, just like you and me. So it's time to honor ourselves, to honor our path, and honor our sisters. Let us vow to uplift women, to look and see her greatness, her gifts, and speak only of those attributes. Vow to know her name. Share the great work she's doing. Rise above the drama and the limited old ways of thinking and behaving. Compliment her instead. A genuine, true compliment. Something you've noticed. Her project that she shared with the team. The way that she organizes things so beautifully. Help another woman who needs your wisdom. Maybe you have years and years of experience and you could really help someone else, right? Ways we can honor each other is reaching out and showing gratitude and appreciation to the women who have helped you in your life, who have inspired you. Maybe once a week you're writing a letter of gratitude or appreciation, or calling someone on the phone or sending them a little video message. Another way is that we can do forgiveness work for ourselves and forgiveness work regarding other people and the ways that we believe that they have hurt us. It's good to, on walks, sometimes I just bring someone to mind and I speak to them as though I'm speaking to their higher self. And I tell them all of the things that I'm sorry for that I did. And I tell them the ways that they hurt me. And it's a great way. You can also do it in writing. But forgiveness work, that's what I'm working on lately with my forgiveness tea. At one point in my life, I actually did 2 months straight where I put up photographs of all of these people. And every day I would look at each of the photograph and have a little conversation with them, telling them what I was sorry for and telling them the ways that they had hurt me. You can also do forgiveness work by doing the Ho'oponopono. And this is a very long-standing traditional way to do forgiveness work. And it is Ho'oponopono, 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 Ho'opono. And then the words are, please forgive me. I thank you. I'm so sorry. I love you. Please forgive me. I thank you. I'm so sorry. I love you. And the song goes like this. Ho'oponopono, 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 ho'opono. Please forgive me. I thank you. I'm so sorry. I love you. Please forgive me. I thank you. I'm so sorry. I love you. And so that's something you can put on repeat. I'll post it in our Facebook group for you to tune into, and I'll sing it in a little bit higher key. That was quite low. All right, moving on is ways we can also honor each other is to mentor a younger woman. Perhaps you are quite established in your career, or maybe you are midway through your career, or maybe there's someone at your local church that you just recognize that perhaps, it might be a really good collaboration for you to mentor her. You can offer that to her, or you can also just start a conversation, right? And open the door for a friendship to develop. And then it turns into this beautiful sharing. I have many young women that are my daughter's age, 28, and it's just this really incredible sharing because we're spanning different generations, and they have gifts and knowledge that I don't know about, and vice versa. And so it's a beautiful exchange, and it's not a formal mentoring, but there's a beautiful life mentoring that we're doing back and forth through our friendship. And also seek out a mentor. No matter what your age is, seek out someone else who has the skills or the attributes that really inspire you, and reach out to her and see if she would be a mentor to you. So by tapping into all of these inherent female qualities, our intuition, our compassion, our empathy, and our nurturing qualities, this is truly what makes us powerful and special as divine feminine beings. So let us offer these gifts that we've been given, while at the same time sharing those gifts inward with ourselves to strengthen ourselves at the same time. So would you please read the statements on the screen? Great. Would you please read them out loud? I am an extraordinary woman. I do extraordinary things. Wonderful. Well, what if we're accenting the verb? Let's speak it out loud now. I am an extraordinary woman. I do extraordinary things. One more time with me. I am an extraordinary woman. I do extraordinary things. I want you to always remember that you are an extraordinary woman, and it doesn't matter if you have faltered once, twice, or 800 times. You are still extraordinary. You have divine gifts to share, and I'm thanking you so much and encouraging you to use your voice to illuminate the path of love for others to follow. Thank you so much for joining me today on our webinar, and you can find me at Facebook, Natasha Bach, transformational coach, voice instructor, and energy healer. And on Instagram at Resonant Aligned Voices, our platform for celebrating other women and the way that we are using our voices for good. All right. And you can also find me on LinkedIn. My website is natashabach.com. I thank you so much for joining me on this Tea Talk webinar, and I look forward to seeing you at future webinars. Thank you so much.